everybody, and thank you for stopping by Living to Do's review of Winning Time. It's episode number 8 called California Dreamin'. Before I get started with this review, please like, share this video, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and you can also find me on Fanbase. So this episode, it is starting with the 1980 All-Star Game, and Magic was voted into the All-Star Game, but he only got 10 votes compared to Larry Bird's 19 votes, and those are votes that the players vote on. And I think Magic is a little hurt considering there's 11 people on his team and he only got 10, so somebody didn't vote for him. They also explained that since that Boston game of last episode, the very good episode number 7, the team has won 22 games and lost 5 games since the their Boston game. And I think they're at 40 and 16 as they rank this year, and Boston is ahead. But I think they're number 1. They're doing great. Good camaraderie with the coaching staff and the guys. They're in the locker room. And first of all, I noticed Pat doesn't have his mustache. I think he had it last episode. But he's there in the locker room, and Paul's talking, and the team sees Paul as their coach. And they call him the professor. He's always doing those Shakespeare poems or whatever he's doing. And they cover him in shaving cream. They're having a good time. And Jack walks back. Jack Mckinney, from his accident, walks into the locker room, and he sees what's going on. And they're all surprised. I didn't even know he was well enough to be back or walk unassisted. He's doing well considering his face is still banged up. The guys, the coaches, Jack and Paul and Pat, talking in the office, and you could just feel the tension between Jack and Pat. After which, Jack goes into his office and talks to Paul about Pat. He wants Pat gone. He wants Paul to fire Pat. He's not a part of his plan. And Jack wants to see more of Spencer, because Spencer's been on the bench, and they want him back in rotation. They want him playing. But between Paul and Pat, they were thinking about trading him because he has a busted knee. Oh, the knee scene. I forgot about that. Pat Riley spoke to Spencer Haywood about his knee. He saw him limping in the locker room. He had Spencer squeeze his knee, and it was just like nothing there. It was so disgusting. And he wants Spencer to get his knee checked out. And he should get his knee checked out. Oh my God. I can't believe their knees. Oh. I just never been that close. It wasn't that I was there, but never seen someone squeeze like a person with knee problems like that, and there's just nothing there. It was just disgusting. A lot of health issues. Just her name, Jessie. Jessie Buss is Jerry Buss's mother and Jeannie Buss's grandmother. Jeannie Buss picks her up from the hospital. They think she's well. Jessie is coming clean to Jeannie and saying, she is left the hospital. She doesn't want to die there. She wants to go home, but there's cancer apparently all through her body. And she doesn't want to tell Jerry about her cancer diagnosis. She wants to keep him in the dark. She's very protective. He can't feel bad about nothing. Everything needs to be on the up and up. He needs to stay with this happy-go-lucky type attitude. No, never give him bad news. Even the rat that's on his head, she's talking about his hair. That not the toupee, it's a comb over thing that he does. Um, well, when they get to her home, Jerry is there. They have nurses there. The nurses are there to take care of her mother, for her dying days. But Jerry's still unaware of this. He's happy his mom's home. He thinks she's beat cancer. They're drinking. She's not limiting her drinking. She's living her life to the end, I guess. Uh, Now Jeannie's sick. She knows something that about her grandmother that her dad doesn't know, and she has to live with it and be silent about it. And they're drinking and drinking, and they have food and a bucket of KFC chicken, and Jeannie just can't take it. She's drinking too, and when the bucket of chicken gets to her, maybe she's been drinking and the whiff of that chicken smell, she just throws up in the chicken basket. Her grandmother's cleaning up the mess, and as she's bending down to clean it up, Jerry sees that her wig shifts, and you could see her head, her real hair, and it's very sparse. It's because she's um, a cancer, and I guess the chemo and everything took her hair out. And Jerry gets a whiff of that, or sees that, and I mean, he's a doctor, for goodness sakes. He needs to put one and one together, but it's your mother. You don't want to think the worst. The next day after the party, he's talking to the nurse, and they're having just a nice conversation. Jeannie comes out, and she thinks the worst because her father is a womanizer, and she blows up at him, and then she lets it out the bag that her grandmother is dying of cancer, and it's a blow to Jerry. I think it should be adding up in his head that looking at her hair, these nurses that she needs, that this could be true. He asks the nurse, and she just says, "I'm sorry." Um, Later, he takes the nurse home, and he's crying about his mother, and he plants his head in her bosom, and she's just a nurse. She's like a hospice nurse, so she is comforting him, and it's innocent at first, and then he gets riled up, and he's just touching her, exposing her, body parts, and she's allowing it. I guess, it's sexual harassment, really, because she can't really, I guess, say anything because she probably lose her job that she really needs. She's studying to be an administrator. We learned that she was a single mom raising a young child, and so she's probably just put in that position to take it, which is, again, so sad to see. And that happens all the time, especially back then. Hopefully less now, but I know that's just was the times, unfortunately. So it's the All-Star Luncheon, and Magic is an All-Star, rookie All-Star, and Kareem from the Lakers. They're going to be at the All-Star game. And this is the luncheon, and Cookie is in attendance at the luncheon. She's there. I think it's in Maryland this particular year. And I don't know if that's fact or fiction that Cookie went to that All-Star game. Dr. J and his wife, I think it's his wife, Dr. J comes up and introduces himself to Cookie. I think Magic had met him before. And she just when Magic introduces Cookie, he goes, "Oh, this is Cookie." He didn't say his girlfriend, fiance, or anything like that. And so Cookie formally introduces herself, and her name is, what was her name? It was, Althea Kelly is her real name. Um, and they had a brief interaction, and there's these commissioner of the NBA and another guy. They invite Magic to a luncheon or actually a dinner after the All-Star game itself. But the All-Star game, the Laker team, is watching it at Spencer Haywood's house. Um, the whole team is there, and all the coaches, Pat, Paul, and Jack. Jack is he's doing a little babysitting Haywood's daughter's a little baby daughter. She's like 1. She's so cute, and they're gonna watch the game there. But Jack does take Spencer outside and talks to him, and he's telling him, he wants to see him on offense. Apparently, they're working him on defense. He can put up more points for the team is the way Jack is looking at it. And he tells Spencer, now, don't worry about the rumors, the trade rumors. He's all, what trade rumors? He had never heard of it. And once he gets word of this, he looks back in the house and he's glaring at Pat Riley, and Pat just gives him a little wave because Pat doesn't know what's up. After the game, he's walking, Spencer's walking everybody out. They're going home, and Spencer confronts Riley about the trade. He thinks he wants him to go to the doctor and basically get him all fixed up for the selling block being traded. And of course, Riley denies all of it. Later, he talks to Paul about it. We need to talk to Jack. Jack is the one who told him he's undermining what they're trying to do, and he's all upset. And Paul is under so much stress. He's like, there's nothing we can do. We work for him. It's his team. Just make yourself essential. Paul wants Pat to stay, but that's not what Jack wants. And, I guess they're known to have teams that have 2 assistant coaches. And I guess that's really what Paul is pushing for. But Jack is just not having it. And you could see the stress all over Paul because he doesn't want, that's that man's livelihood. He took this position. They're doing well at it, and now he's just going to throw him out, and he won't have that announcer gig that he had with Chick Hearn. So where will he be? He'll just be out. Spencer goes back in the house because he's stressed about the trade, and he's on drugs. He goes into his closet and he gets some heavy drugs. So I know that baby is in that house with Spencer. I didn't see the mother anywhere around, and this man is doing heavy drugs. Not a good look. In the All-Star game, the West lost that. The East Coast won that game. After the game, Magic goes to the commissioners. They go to dinner with the commissioner of the league and another guy, and Magic and will be there with also Bird. They want to discuss, I guess maybe a face of the league or some things with the league. And Bird comes in mean mugging as always. I don't know why. I don't know if Bird is really like that. I know he's the Great White Hope, and they want him to be like maybe the face of the league. Magic talks before Bird gets to the table. Magic talks to one of the executives about Rookie of the Year, and the exec says, "Oh, the writers, the journalists, they pick that." And Magic's like, "Well, you have like some influence over that," and I guess he's bucking for Rookie of the Year. And he has what it takes. I don't know if Magic was Rookie of the Year. I don't know who won that year. So there is an interview that's taken place that Pat is doing. After Magic gets back from his dinner, he goes back to the hotel and he sees Cookie. Cookie is mad. She's packing. She's packing her bags because she got a call from Rhonda. Rhonda called looking for Magic because she's pregnant with Magic's child. So of course, Cookie is mad, and she confronts Magic about this, and he doesn't believe it. He just thinks that people are trying to get at him because of his money. No, you got her best friend pregnant. She has to see her at church and school. She's gone. And Paul and Jack are at a diner when the interview is being played, and you could tell Pat is kind of reluctant talking about Jack's return to the team. You know, he doesn't want to badmouth them, but he does want to keep the job because he's good at it. So he's fighting for himself. And when Paul sees this interview, also, he said he'll talk to Pat. You know, I guess that was like the breaking point. Jack didn't like hearing that, you know, that he wasn't coming back or whatever. He didn't speak about Jack in a good light. Of course, Jack is mad about that. He thinks these people are taking away his team. Um, so after what happened after that? Um, they play the Philadelphia. Was it Philadelphia? They played a game. I think it was the Philadelphia 76ers. Um, maybe it wasn't, but there was a game they played, and Pat and Paul are coaching after the game. They're having a discussion in the locker room. During this whole episode, Paul has to go to the bathroom a lot. He's constantly having, we notice he's going to the bathroom a lot. And him and Paul are getting an argument, and he has to go to the bathroom. He excuses himself to go to the bathroom. Pat follows Paul, and we see that Pat notices that Paul is, I thought he was going to the bathroom on himself, but he says it's blood. And he faints. Paul faints on the ground, and he has to go to the hospital. Comes to find out it's kidney stones, and he's laid up in the hospital. And Jack comes to visit him while he's in the hospital. And the man's laying up sick. He's actually sick because of the stress that he has endured because he has the Lakers, a job that he can't really do. I think maybe Pat is doing most of the job. And he was trying to be loyal to Jack, who's not really ready to come back. We see some issues with memory and stuff with him, and when camera flashes, that seems to he gets it just seems to bother him. I know he has a lot of head trauma and whatnot. And Jack is in the hospital telling Paul that he picked him as his assistant in this role because he wasn't capable of doing more, and he thought that he would be loyal, but he's seeing that he's disloyal because Paul is just asking for him to finish out the season, him and Pat, and then he can come back the next season. And Jack believes that that's his team, and these people are trying to take it from him. Poor Paul. He's just stressed out. And I think Jack wants Pat gone. He doesn't want him as a second assistant coach or nothing because I believe maybe he believes Pat is capable and Pat could take over. He wants these, people that are just don't have a backbone, Betamin, to be below him, so he doesn't have to fight with them for power. I think it's just the way he treated Paul in the hospital bed, who's just really sick. Because I don't think Jack really realizes that, but he's in a hospital, and nobody treated you like that when you were in the hospital. He was there for you, and maybe this is the way he thinks he sees things should go for now. That's best. It's in everybody's best interest, but of course Jack doesn't see it that way. So later the Lakers play the Phillies. The Philly, what do you call it? They're 76ers, and Dr. J's on that team, and Dr. J just does whatever he wants over Magic. He dunks on Magic. It's a good game. But Magic later is upset. He lost the game. He looked bad. It was his worst game. Says, you can hear Chick Hearn saying it's the rookie's worst game so far, and that was at the Philly the Philadelphia 76ers. And after which, Dr. J came in and he talked to everybody, and everybody looked up to him. He shakes everybody's hand. He talks to Magic, and Magic just isn't feeling it. First of all, he might have a baby on the way. His girlfriend broke up with him. Dr. J knows he lied about Cookie not being there because he said after he invited them out earlier after the All-Star game and Cookie didn't come, and Magic said because she ate bad shrimp at the luncheon, and Dr. J's wife, she walked away quickly. Dr. J pulled him aside after that game, after the luncheon, and said, everybody else ate that shrimp. It wasn't bad. You know, you should have said something else, like it was her time of the month, something more believable. So, you know, they had a good rapport, but after their game together, that was the All-Star game, but after Laker and Philly game, or 76ers game, Magic was in a funk. And I have to say, the guy that plays Magic, Quincy Isaiah, excellent job. I love your acting. I believe you as Magic. And when there is a different mood has to come on, you know, you have to play Magic with who's down and depressed. You played it very well. Very well. I loved it. The casting on this show is great. John C. Riley, another shout out to him. Jerry Buss, excellent. These guys are portraying, I don't know Jerry Buss at all, but I like what I see in John C. Riley. I think this role was meant for him. It's his best role of a lifetime. I love it. This guy, new guy, Quincy Isaiah, I love him as Magic. Very, very good. And the episode was good. It wasn't as exciting as the previous episodes, but it was good. And I like the way the story is unfolding. So that is it for now. I'll be back for episode 9 next week. But that's it for now. Please like, share, and comment on the video, and subscribe to the channel. I would really appreciate it, and I thank you in advance, and you can also find me on Fanbase. But that's all for now because I got living to do. Bye.